But there is some tragic news coming in from Kuwait where more than 40 people, including over 40 Indian nationals, have been killed after a fire broke out in a building. This was in the Magnaf area in Kuwait. Over 30 people are officially critically injured. The blaze broke out early this morning from a kitchen, we're given to understand. This was on the lower floor and then it quickly spread through the entire building. It trapped many people inside. Prime Minister Modi has condoled the deaths as well as said that the Indian embassy is closely monitoring the situation and working with the authorities there to assist those who've been affected. A delegation of the MEA led by MOS MEA Kirtiwardhan Singh will be dispatched to Kuwait. Indian ambassador to Kuwait has already visited the site of the blaze, and Al Adan Hospital, where over 30 Indian workers have been injured in the fire incident, have been admitted to. Meanwhile, Kuwait's Deputy Prime Minister has ordered a probe, also held the building owners responsible for the tragedy.
مع الأسف طمع أصحاب العقارات هو اللي يؤدي إلى الأمور هذه.
आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हम लोग को तुरंत मीटिंग में बुलाया है। उनकी ब्रीफिंग के बाद हम लोग तुरंत कुवैत जाएंगे। जहां तक उम्मीद है हम लोग तुरंत इस पे एक्शन ले रहे हैं।
Meanwhile, just upon returning from Andhra Pradesh and Odisha, the Prime Minister has held a high-level meeting to review the situation relating to this fire incident in Kuwait. In fact, we're given to understand that he's already said that the MEA and dispatched the MOS MEA to Kuwait to take stock and also help in the repatriation of both those Indians who are alive there and want to return, and also to repatriate those who unfortunately perished in this fire accident. Payal Mehta has more details. Payal, what has the Prime Minister said in this high-level meeting?
Well, the Prime Minister taking an immediate review. Dhaka, he's out the whole day today attending oath-taking ceremonies, but he's come back and immediately taken a meeting. The visuals are there for everybody to see. You can see senior officials of the MEA. You can see Mr. Jaishankar there. The MOS MEA who's supposed to travel tonight is also there in that meeting. The instructions are very simple that as many people want to come back should be brought back immediately. Whatever rescue relief operations need to be run also need to be run on a war footing. That's what the Prime Minister's simple but detailed instructions are.
Do we have any idea of how many Indians were there living in this quarter? Were they just, bachelors? Because many times laborers who work in the Gulf leave their families behind. We're given to understand about a dozen of them were from the state of Kerala, what their identities are, where they hail from here in India and so on.
Well, the MEA is in the process of identifying all the people, and that's the reason the envoy is already there. He's also taking into account all the details. But we do understand a lot of people from there are from Kerala, and that's the reason the Kerala Chief Minister has also written a letter to Jaishankar to expedite the process of rescue and relief operations. All preparations are being made because remember, the MOS MEA has just been made an MOS MEA just about a couple of days ago. So all the formalities to do with his visa, his diplomatic passport, etc. is being done right now. And as soon as he'll be asked to leave, either late tonight or probably tomorrow early morning.
All right, Payal, we'll leave it at that. We'll see how the story develops. I also want to go across now to Prabhu Dayal, who's been a former Indian ambassador to Kuwait. Raven D'Souza is the managing editor of the Times in Kuwait, and Shan Sen is a resident who stayed in this compound in Mangaf in Kuwait. Let me start with Raven D'Souza. Raven, what is the latest you're picking up? What is the official casualty figure as of right now, and how many Indians, I'm afraid, are dead in that?
I just spoke to the Egyptian ambassador and the Nepali ambassador, so it's quite clear now only Indians and Filipinos have been the casualty in terms of deaths. There are no Egyptian deaths, I can clearly confirm that, and there are no Nepali deaths. So the majority of those who are killed are the Indians, and next is the Filipinos. There are a couple of them who are still in critical care. So the numbers won't be very clear today, but as of now, it stands at around 50 because there are still, identification, and there's still some treatment going on in various hospitals all over Kuwait. So that's the numbers right now. The situation, of course, is brought under control. That was a building which had housed laborers, so it's technically called a labor camp. Bachelors stay there, sometimes 4, 5, 6, and maybe even 7 or 8 to a room. So this is clearly a violation of the what you say rules and regulations that exist, but of course they are overlooked. But this situation has brought to light the violations, and so the government of Kuwait is very serious. We have a new government taken charge a few months ago, and now they are very serious about fixing issues that have been swept under the carpet, and human rights, labor rights are one of them. And this company is partly owned by an Indian itself, along with his Kuwaiti partners. They were doing reasonably well. They're a well-placed company. They don't have past precedents of any serious violations. So this is really a one-off incident that got everybody by surprise. We are 1 million Indians in Kuwait. This woke up to the shocking news, and one of the most terrible tragedies we can remember in recent times in Kuwait, especially for the Indian community.
I'm also joined by Mr. Shan Sain. He's a resident of this complex in Mangaf in Kuwait. Mr. Shan Sain, can you first of all tell us what exactly happened? When did you first see this fire, and what went through your mind when you saw this?
See, actually, this incident was happened in the southern part of Kuwait. The area is called Mangaf. This area is mostly the workers who is working in the oil areas and other things, because nearby this area, around 10 kilometers away only, the oil fields, refineries and all these things are situated. Okay. So mostly Indian people, all South Indian, North Indians, all are there. So around 4:30, something like that, approximately, the fire is started from the ground floor, and suddenly it's some blast sound also heard from that area, because like a lot of gas cylinders and other things were stored in the ground floor area. So then suddenly the fire spread into other floors as well, and the building has around 6 floors. This building is a 6-floor building. Around 72 rooms are there in this building. And around 196 people were staying. And the company is actually an Indian. The owner of the company is Indian, only Mr. Abraham. It's called NBTC, Nasser Al Badda Trading Company. So they have some like a supermarket chain also there. They are handling. So in the people who were staying in the buildings is from these 2 supermarket shops, plus some people they are working in the company's workshop site as well.
I want to ask you, Mr. Sain, what action is being taken by the local authorities there? We know that the fire has been put out, but in terms of relief and rehabilitation, hospital care, what kind of action are the local authorities taking?
People were admitted in like 3 or 4 hospital nearby areas, like Adan Hospital, Farwania Hospital, then Jehra Hospital, like that. Around 10 people, their conditions are stable, but some people they sustain, like they have like a 3rd degree, 2nd degree burns and other things. So that is the current situation here. But now everything is evacuated. The building is isolated from nearby areas. The police is still staying over there. Fire force is still there. And once the issues are happened, suddenly the interior minister came over the site, and in front of everybody he told the building, arrest the building owner, and he arrested the caretaker of the building, and he told to arrest the company owner as well. I don't know now they arrested or not. Because usually in Kuwait, if as an Indian, if you are the owner also, the sponsor will be a Kuwaiti. So in this case, how they will deal, that we have to see later.
All right, Mr. Sain, thank you very much. We'll see how this plays out for the rest of the evening. Prabhu Dayal is also joining us. Now, this problem of, Indian laborers living in these very, very dingy conditions, 5 or 6 people to a room, etc. This is something that is known. I'm not sure we've had this kind of accident in the past in Kuwait involving Indian laborers. But why has this not been regulated? In this case, both the guests previously were saying that the building is partly owned by an Indian. So it's almost like one Indian was exploiting other fellow Indians for whatever reason, monetary reasons most likely. But this is not a new problem. I'm sure this was a problem when you were ambassador as well, Prabhu Dayal. Why has this issue not been fixed? Why are rules and regulations not being followed as far as these labor camps are concerned?
Well, Zaka, first of all, I would like to convey my deepest condolences to the bereaved family members of those who died in the fire in Kuwait. They died in a 6-story building which was overcrowded. And you have correctly asked the question, why has such a situation been allowed to happen? Why has the government of Kuwait not taken adequate steps earlier to prevent such incidents from taking place? But I'm heartened to note that the Kuwaiti government is now taking the matter very seriously. And I understand that the Deputy Prime Minister has said that while his government took over just a few months ago, he would take steps to prevent labor overcrowding. You know, in this building where the fire took place, I understand that about 160 people were packed there like sardines. So the Kuwaiti Deputy Prime Minister has correctly said that unfortunately the greed of real estate owners is what leads to these situations. I'm again heartened to note that the Kuwait municipality and the public authority for manpower have been directed by him to take action to address similar violations. Now, it is not that these authorities didn't know in the past. Of course, they were fully aware. They make inspections. But I think they were a little lackadaisical in being tough and in taking action. I have also served in Dubai, where the government is much tougher. So I think that there will be a wake-up call now to the Kuwaiti government, and I've seen reports that they have ordered the arrest of the building's owner, who is effectively the managing director of the group to which you referred earlier. Mm-hmm. So I hope that some change takes place. But yes, it is unfortunate that the rights of workers and their predicament has not been sufficiently taken into account till now.
All right, Mr. Prabhu Dayal, Ravind D'Souza, and of course, Shan Sen, thank you very much for joining us. Our thoughts and prayers with the families of these victims of this unfortunate fire incident that happened in Kuwait.